We all went through school, the early mornings, the group projects that never actually were group projects. Oh, and you can't forget the very questionable cafeteria food that made you wonder if they planted a diarrhea bomb in it. I'm speaking from personal experience. That wasn't a fun time. And you can't forget the occasional teachers who made the class actually enjoyable. But sometimes you come across a video online, or in my case, a Reddit post, that reminds you just how awful a school system can really be. The user who posted this was a minor. They made a post about a teacher that they had a crush on at the time, and shortly after that, you guessed it, a teacher messaged a minor.
This guy stinks!
Plot twist, the teacher forgot they're supposed to be the responsible one here. Just so we don't get it mixed up, the minor in this situation is strange little creature. I'm just going to call them Russian hamster. The teacher starts it off with this. Hi, I've just read your post about your teacher crush. Would you like to talk about it? This is already a red flag, because why do you as a teacher need to know why this minor posted about having a crush about one of their teachers? Do you think it was you? Is that why? That must be why. First of all, I want to say I work as a teacher. They have to put 30-M, which stands for male, in case you didn't know. And I've had some female students who had a crush on me. I was wondering, what makes you have a crush on him? I'm hoping that this teacher isn't an English teacher, because if they are, all of their students must be failing. I have had some female students have a crush on me. That's how you properly make a sentence? Proper grammar? Proper pronunciation? I don't know. I'm not an English teacher. It's not my job to know. Russian hamster responds by saying, well, basically, I really loved his maturity and his sense of humor, and he had such a calming presence and voice. The teacher then says, makes sense. I suppose you're into older men. Russian hamster says, pretty much. The teacher then says, how old are you? Russian hamster says, 14. Teacher says, oh nice, you must be in either 8th or 9th grade. I teach 5th to 8th grades, and those girls who have crush on me are 7th and 8th grades. They sometimes compliment on my hair and outfits and ask me personal questions. And it's sad because you're sending your kids to a school that you have no control over, you can't protect them or anything. You're just putting them in the care of this school and these teachers. Meanwhile, this is who their teachers are. And what's sadder, this is probably pretty common. That's a sad reality that we live in. At least in America. America sucks, especially in school. You know how many school shootings there are nowadays? It's insane. America, we need to do better. For the kids.
Keep bombing them, bomb them again.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters.
Russian hamster says, damn, I wouldn't be able to say any of that to my crush. The teacher says, you must be kind of shy then. They are also kind of shy, but they must be feeling comfortable enough to ask me those. Russian hamster says, for sure, means you're a good teacher. The teacher says, I do my best, and thanks, honey. Ha, ha. Ha, ha. What's funny about this? The fact that you think you're about to slam dunk on a minor? Is that it? How the teacher must be feeling in this moment? But in all seriousness, dude, what are you doing here? Honey? The teacher then says, wish you were my student. You seem so nice. I know why he wants this Russian hamster as his student. I think we all can put 2 and 2 together now. 2 plus 2 equals 4. That must equal Russian hamster. Have you ever fantasized about him? Holy crap. Russian hamster says, well, every day. The teacher says, like what? Russian hamster says, nah, I can't say because it's too personal. The teacher then says, it will be between us, which of course, that's what they all say. To catch a predator, this is what predators do every single time. Russian hamster says, no, I don't reveal them to strangers. The teacher then says something wild. I'm not a stranger though. I mean, you can trust me. Buddy, you're quite literally a stranger. You just met, a couple minutes ago? You've only known each other for like 10 minutes. That's the epitome of being a stranger. What are we doing? At least we know he's not a math teacher though, eh? At least we know that because he can't even put time together. He thinks they're not strangers anymore. Meanwhile, it's only been
10 minutes of them chatting.
The teacher says, okay, then you can ask me questions if you want. They ask me questions like, how old and tall are you? How long have you been teaching? Are you married? Do you have a favorite student? Etc. If you thought the teacher was already asking wild questions, you're about to hear the wildest one right now. So buckle in your seatbelt, okay? The teacher asked, what would you want to do with him if you had the chance?
You what?
I'm speechless. You're speechless. Russian Hamster was most definitely speechless. And this class is what we call a red flag. Please write that down. I don't know how we're going from here all the way up until here in between, like, literally a minute. The fact that he was able to somehow be a teacher is just... it's messing with my brain. I'm gonna have like some type of aneurysm. Russian Hamster says, I don't want to say. The teacher says, oh, come on, I won't be judgmental. Again, we know, not an English teacher. Horrible, terrible grammar. What is this teacher like expecting at this point out of this conversation? Students should feel safe around their teachers. And this is a teacher, no kid, and I'm talking no kid, is gonna be safe around. And that can be pretty much 100% certified a fact. And yes, I just pointed with my middle finger, yes. I'm not flicking you off. What are you talking about? Russian Hamster says, I don't think you can reveal anything about your students, which... yeah, that would be weird if you did. Teacher says, well, I can tell you if you want. Russian Hamster says, of course not. I won't ask anything about them. At what point did we get here where a Russian hamster has more courtesy and more common sense than an actual teacher who has to go through years and years of school and multiple tests and a whole hiring process to even be a teacher and teach? This teacher then again tries to do a slam dunk, but this time they lay up and then slam dunk, whoop, there it is, kind of thing. The teacher says, do you like role playing?
You what?
Russian Hamster says, that's personal, which, yes. I don't even have to go into explanation or detail into this. This is just common sense, which this teacher, again, doesn't have. That's the epitome of personal. How much personal can it get? Russian Hamster then makes a very, very good point, which should have been made a long time ago. You're 30 and I'm 14. Teacher says, so, I don't know how they became a teacher because they're not very intelligent. They don't know what's wrong with a 30-year-old and a 14-year-old. Russian Hamster says, that's weird to ask. Teacher says, it is just for fun. Just for fun. Just for fun with a minor? A minor? Do I need to say a minor? Russian Hamster says, weird. Teacher says, okay then. And that was the end of that conversation, ladies and gentlemen. That should have ended a long time ago. This went on, let me check how long this went on for. This whole conversation lasted about 6-7 minutes. It lasted 20 minutes. It lasted 20 minutes, which is too long. Too very long. The last update that Russian Hamster made was that the teacher deleted all of his messages, which of course he did. He's trying to cover his tracks. And then they ended up reporting them to their local police, which is, you know, very good. I hope that they find him, and I hope that he gets arrested, and I hope that he stays in jail or in prison for the rest of his life. And most importantly, do not be like this guy. You have common sense. I have common sense. We all have common sense not to do this besides weirdos, perverts, and you make sure that you're none of those things. Be a decent person and be nice to people, okay? It's really not that hard, okay?